topic of this video is working with the properties of logarithms. Let's look at a problem. Use the change of base formula, Rule 8, and a calculator to evaluate log base 3 of 15. Okay, before we begin, I'd like you to notice that once again we've been provided with a logarithm where the base is a number and the argument is a number. So we should try to figure out if we can rewrite that in a simpler form. What is log base 3 of 15? The most common wrong answer from students I get is 5, because they're thinking 3 times 5 is 15. But what they are not remembering is that a logarithm is a missing exponent. In other words, 3 raised to what power will give you 15? 3 multiplied by itself, how many times will give you 15? Clearly the answer there cannot be 5. 3 times itself 5 times would be a very large number. So, what is the missing exponent? Well, if the missing exponent was replaced by a 2, 3 squared is 9. And if it was replaced by a 3, 3 cubed is 27. Notice that we jumped right over 15. Because 15 is in between the 9 and the 27, our missing exponent must be in between 2 and 3. So it's probably not some really easy number that we're going to find just by thinking about it. This returns us to the directions and this thing called the change of base formula. So let's learn the change of base formula. The change of base formula says, when you have an expression such as log base a of m, and you don't like the base that you have, you can change it. So, on the right side of the change of base formula, there is a b. b is the new base that you get to choose. And you're going to write the log that you have as 2 logs with the same base, b, being divided. Now, since you get to choose the value of b, and because the problem says that you should use your calculator, then what we want to recognize is that on our calculator, in the first column, there are 2 buttons for log. One says log, which represents a base b of 10. The other says ln, which represents a base b of e. So when you use the change of base formula and a calculator, that means that you should choose 10 or e for your base. Now, finishing the formula, we have an m as the argument of the top log and an a as the argument of the bottom log. When I teach this to students, I like them to observe that on the left, the m is a little bit higher than the a, and on the right, the m is higher than the a. So the up goes up and the down goes down, but you get to determine the base b. So in this particular instance, let's assume that we're going to choose a base b of 10. That means that we can rewrite log base 3 of 15 as log base 10 over log base 10, and our 2 numbers become our 2 arguments. So the top is log base 10 of 15, and the bottom would be log base 10 of 3. Of course, when you're using a calculator, you don't have to write the 10. The 10 just tells you that you should be using the button that says log. So we want the log of 15 divided by the log of 3. All right, now we're ready to use our calculators. So let's go ahead and put this in. First, I'm going to do log of 15, enter, divided by log of 3, enter. And the value that I get is 2.465 approximately. This gives me confidence that my answer is correct because I know that it was supposed to be somewhere in between 2 and 3. The fact that I'm getting 2.465 tells me I probably have the right answer. So let's write it here. This is approximately 2.465. You'll notice that I rounded to 3 decimal places. The instructions for the problem did not give me any rounding instructions, so I just sort of decided on my own to round to 3 decimal places. But the web-based software that you will use to complete your homework will specify the number of decimal places that you want. Now, I mentioned before that you could use base 10 or base e. What if we did this problem again? What if we used base e? Would we get the same answer? We would. Watch. Log base 3 of 15 can be rewritten as log base e of 15 divided by log base e of 3. log base e is the ln button on your calculator. So we would pick up our calculators and we would do the natural log of 15 divided by the natural log of 3. Let's begin. Natural log of 15, close parentheses, enter, divide, natural log of 3, close parentheses, enter. We get the same value, 2.465. The nice thing about the change of base formula is that it works for any base that you choose, whether that's 10, e, or any other positive number that's not equal to 1.